Hey, what's up, guys? I am in Da Nang, Vietnam. And first things first, let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. I would appreciate that. So we know things are good. And then we'll get started in just a little bit. Um, wait for a few more people to show up. But Ken's Asian Adventures, good morning. How's the audio? How's the audio, everybody? Let me know. I'm actually on the corner of the street where my apartment is in An Thuong. Everything's good. Okay, good. It's a little coffee shop called Echo Green, and it's got good coffee. I'm having my Americano hot right now. This is my second cup. I had one at home when I got up at 5 this morning. It's just after 9 in the morning here in Vietnam. So Vietnam's on the same time zone as Thailand. Philippines is 1 hour later, so it's 10 a.m. in the Philippines. And then I believe it's 10 p.m. Sunday night, East Coast. Maybe it's 9 p.m. Sunday night, East Coast in the States. So, all right, everything's good. Awesome. Good deal. Good morning, Ira. Good morning, Ken's. Ken's Asian Adventure. You have a channel? You have a YouTube channel, Ken's? Ken? We can check it out. I don't include that heart. Oh, okay. That's okay. I'll give you the heart right there. Um, so we'll wait for a few more people to show up and we'll start talking about the topic, which is the differences of living in the three cities I've been living in since I moved out here. BGC in the Philippines, um, Da Nang, Vietnam here, and Bangkok, Thailand. So we'll talk about the differences. Let's get the 5 p.m. in Alaska. Ooh. What's the weather like there? What's the temperature in Alaska right now? Alan retired in the Philippines. Hello from Kalinga, Luzon. Audio is okay, but your face looks dark. Yeah, I know. I've got the sunshine behind me, so I'm kind of silhouetted, so I can't. I don't have a lot. I don't have my stuff with me. All my studio stuff's back in Bangkok, so I'm on the bare minimum. I've got a laptop with the webcam camera on my laptop, and I'm using my earbuds for audio for the microphone. So things might not be as perfect as they would be if I was back in Bangkok in my studio, where I can get better lighting and I can get better audio off the mics and all that. But you don't need to see my face so well, anyways. I have a face for radio, so. Let's see what else is going on here. Ken's just getting started, nothing on there. Trading with, awesome. So just do what I did, just start. That's the best way. Just put out a video. When I first started doing it, I was doing all my videos vertical like this. And so when I post them, you had like the brackets, and then I realized that I needed to do my videos like this unless they were shorts. Um, but it's great experience. You know, you gotta skin your knees before you can get things running up good. 20 below, wow. No, thank you. No thanks. Hey, Edwin. Good morning. Yeah, cold over there. Yeah, no doubt. Edwin's on. Good morning, Edwin. How are things going? North Pole. Yeah. Say hi to Santa when you get a chance. But, anyway, okay, so let's get started. We got about 10 people on here, so I wanted to talk a little bit about and if you guys have a topic or questions, I'd love to do question and answers also. Um, so good morning, the art chairs. I'm in Da Nang, Vietnam, so I'm literally 2 blocks from the beach. Beautiful ocean beach setting here in Da Nang, Vietnam. If you haven't been here, this is a perfect time to come now because we're just getting out of the rainy season. So the last 2 days have been beautiful. The sun's been out. Today's going to be another beautiful day. It'll get about um, close to 80 degrees for the high. So the temperatures are perfect. The waves are great. If you like to surf, this is a great beach in which to do that. Now, you're not going to get the big surf waves, but if you're a beginner or moderate surfer or a boogie board guy or girl, uh, you can come out here and you'll have a good time. So, yeah, Da Nang, Vietnam is where I'm at right now. Okay, art chairs. I hear that it's a very affordable city. Yes, it is. It's more affordable than Bangkok and more affordable than the Philippines, where I lived in BGC. I'm renting it's a studio apartment, but it's about a 35 square meter apartment, fully furnished. It's got a little kind of a faux balcony. It's got a door that opens up and it's got a railing, so you can kind of get the fresh air. Um, but I'm renting it for about $275 US dollars a month. So 12,500,000 Vietnam dong, which some people might say, I'm sorry, it's not 12, it's 7,500,000 dong. So some people might say that's too high, but it's in a great location in the An Thuong district. And like I said, just 2 blocks, 3 blocks from the beach. And there's great restaurants all around, great food, great bars. So it's got pretty much everything I need. So, okay, so I just checked today's rate. So 7,500,000 dong is $295 a month. So under $300. Now, I'm planning on getting out of here next month in March. I'll be leaving. I'll be going back to the Philippines actually for an extended stay. I'll be staying in BGC to start with, and probably getting a place in Makati for like a short-term rent, like a 3 month rent, while I renew my passport. So if you've watched my last video, I talk about the trials and tribulations I had uh, as far as getting my passport renewed. But I think I've got things figured out. So you can go ahead and check that video out if you want. Um, but that's my plan, and I'm going to let my lease expire here next month, so I won't be leasing here. It's so easy to find a place, a hotel, a nice hotel, um, apartments here that are really cheap. I don't feel the need to keep paying for rent while I'm gone like I was before, so I'll just let that go away, and then if I come back, or when I come back here, I'll just rent something else. So that's kind of my plan. Let's see, let's get caught up here. Um, is communicating with locals easier or hard there speaking English? Love to visit someday. It's of the 3 places, BGC is the Philippines is the easiest because they speak English. Next would be Bangkok, because if you're in the main touristy area, most people speak enough English, or English well enough to be able to communicate well. And then here in Vietnam, not a lot of people speak English. If it is, it's very broken, it's very limited. So it is problematic. So let's put it that way. Um, but unless you're like really into deep conversations, you really don't need it, because you can pretty much look on a menu, and they got pictures on menus, so you can point to what you want to eat. Um, the menus are in English, most of them. Uh, this is a tourist destination, so there's a lot of backpackers, a lot of expats that live here. So you're going to find that most everything's in English as far as menus and signage for stores and that sort of thing. Um, Speaking the language is a whole different animal. So, but you can get by here on a limited basis without much problem. I know a few phrases in in Vietnamese. I know, I can say hello, xin chào. I can say thank you, kaban. I can say I want to pay the bill, 10 TN, basic things like that. um, but you really don't need a lot more than that. I mean, you could say those things in Vietnamese, or you could say hello, and they usually say hello back to you. Uh, but if you try to speak in their language, I think they appreciate that. So, but of the three places, this is the hardest of the three. So, um, yeah, language barrier. So, I do not have one of those handheld translators. I want to get one. I probably will, but I just haven't yet. The problem with ordering over Amazon, um, I'll probably wait till I get back to the Philippines because I can get things that under $200 and I don't have to pay import tax. Whereas Thailand and here in Vietnam, there's you either paying an import tax or an import fee, or you're paying for shipping. Whereas in the Philippines, you don't have to do either of those if your order on Amazon is under $200. Now I can go on Shopee or Lazada, but uh, for my thinking, it's kind of a hit and miss thing whether you're going to get a decent product or a knockoff or the authentic thing. So kind of hit and miss there, using those two places. But yeah, I would like to get that. I've got my Google or I got a translator on my phone, but that can get kind of awkward. And a lot of the waitresses and the people that work in retail, they will have their phone with them and they will translate. Um, so like my landlord, my landlady, the owner of my apartment, they were working on some things in my apartment the other day, and so they were using this to communicate with me. So I didn't even have to bring my phone out. So let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so are you talking about Vietnam? Most Western, like I'm from the U.S., so I can come in. You have to go online and get an e-visa, and you can do that up to 90 days. I think you can do a 30-day or a 90-day, and you can do a single entry or a multiple entry. It's 25 US dollars, and if you do the multiple entry, it's 50 US dollars. So I'm on the multiple entry, so I went back to Thailand. I came back a couple of weeks ago here, and I'll be here until my multiple entry ends on March 7th. I'll be heading back to the Philippines on March 4th next month. So yeah, so you can do 90 days. I think most of the countries in the West are on the same e-visa regulation, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But so the weather is beautiful here. Let's talk about the weather first compared to maybe the Philippines and Thailand, where things are getting a little warmer now. The neat thing about Vietnam is they've got the seasons because it's such a long country. It runs north and south. So if you get up north in Vietnam, you can actually run into snow during the winter. Um, it doesn't snow here, but in December and January, it was pretty chilly and rainy. We were at the tail end of the rainy season, so we didn't get heavy rain, but it rained almost every day and every night, and it was chilly, down to the lower 70s probably. And with that, chilly rain, yeah, it got to be a little. I had to go buy a jacket. I went to Han Market, which is across the river, and found a Nike jacket, nice jacket for 150,000 dong, which is about $6, under $6. So I've been wearing a jacket. This is like the second day I haven't worn my jacket because the weather's been nicer now. So the weather's nice here. It's cooler than it is because we're in I guess, central Vietnam. So if you get down south to around Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, it's going to be a lot warmer there because you're in the southern part. So you're in more of that in line with Bangkok or the Philippines, where you're going to have those hot days. And I suspect that things are starting to warm up in the Philippines now too. Um, So the weather here, uh, you'll have a lot cooler temperatures than you would in both Bangkok and in the Philippines, unless you get up in the mountains in the Philippines or northern Thailand. Then you'll have a little cooler temps. But I think probably here it's cooler still. It was a very nice um, change of pace for what I was used to. So when I came back, I got back here on, when was that? February 11th. I came back on February 11th. I went out the next day, and it felt like October in the Midwest. That's what the weather feels like. You know, when it's you have those Indian summers where you've got those warm temps in the middle of October, and then it starts cooling off. That's what it felt like. It felt like it got up to 80, and then at night it drops down to 70, and it gets a little cooler, 70 or 65. So that's what it felt like um, when I got back here. It was nice. It felt kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of home, you know. Okay, so let's talk about dating. Uh, Dating is um, exponentially easier in the Philippines than it is in both Thailand and Vietnam. And I'll tell you the reasons why. First of all, um, the English language, so you can communicate easier with Filipina than you can with a Vietnamese woman or a Thai woman necessarily. Sometimes you run into those issues. I'll get back to that. The age gap is a thing. So in the Philippines, age isn't a big issue necessarily. So you can be an older foreigner and date a younger Filipina, and nobody really thinks much about it. It's so your whole pool of opportunities is a lot larger because you've got everybody from, you know, if you want to, you can date somebody that's 18, you know, 19, 20 years old, all the way up to however old you want to get. So you've got that larger pool in which to choose. Um, the other thing is that it's let's see. So there's two types of dating in the Philippines, basically. You've got somebody that's looking for a relationship and somebody that's looking for a transaction. So you've got a lot of those in the Philippines, those transactional short term or short time um, dates that you can get. So you've got a lot of that. You've got a little bit less in Thailand than you do in the Philippines, and a lot less in Vietnam, especially in Da Nang here. Now, maybe in Ho Chi Minh City, you can find those transactional dates a lot easier just because it's a larger city. But those are the main things. Now, if you're in Thailand, you've got a little less of an opportunity because the language barrier. So you could be speaking with someone online, and it sounds like things are going swimmingly because they're answering you in English and you're talking to them in English, but they're translating as they speak to you. Also, if you're in WhatsApp, WhatsApp has a translator too. So you may not even realize that they don't speak much English or any English. And so when it comes right down to meeting them, they may back out or may ghost you because they're embarrassed because they don't speak English. So they may not ever tell you that, but my suspicion is that's a lot of the times that you might get ghosted or they might back out of meeting because of that. You do have the transactionals there, and if you're on the dating sites, you're going to get a lot of that. The dating gap, the age gap is not as large as it is in the Philippines. So if you're a 60 to 70-year-old expat, you're looking to date a young girl, you're not going to have that opportunity necessarily in Thailand unless it's transactional. So if you're looking for someone in their 20s and you're in your 60s, you're going to have a harder time in Thailand than you would in the Philippines. Now, let's move here to Vietnam. It's even harder because you're going to find less and less people speak the English language than even in Thailand, and especially Bangkok, and especially here in Da Nang. You're going to find that their um, age gap is a lot smaller than even in Thailand. So if you're looking to date a young girl and you're an older expat, it's going to be harder in Vietnam unless you're doing the transactional thing again. But we're talking relationship. That's a whole different subject, whole different animal. So the other thing that's different about Thailand and Vietnam that I've come to find out is that they're not looking for holiday boyfriends. If they're looking for a relationship with a foreigner, Thailand, they call them Parangs. They're looking for somebody that's actually living there. Vietnam, even more so. So if you're not living here, you're just visiting. The chances of you having a date with someone are smaller because they're looking for that relationship, that somebody that's actually living there. Another thing is tradition. They're very traditional in Vietnam and in Thailand too, but in Vietnam, very traditional. So they're looking for someone that their family will approve of, basically. They don't want to embarrass their family at all. So that's another thing that you have to be aware of when you're dating in Vietnam and Thailand. Um, so those are the main things about the dating differences in those. So thanks, Edwin. Let's see. San Jose, Costa Rica weather. Okay, I've never been there, but yeah, so sounds perfect. Yeah, and the beach is awesome. Okay, the food. So my personal preference, I like spicy food. I love Thai food. To me, you can't beat Thai food, and so I would rank that number one. Now we're talking about the local foods. I would rank Vietnam number two, and I would rank Filipino food number three of the three countries where I've lived. Um, Now, if you're talking about food availability, as far as getting Western food or what the quality of the Western food is, I would say uh, in general, Thailand probably your best option because especially in Bangkok, you've got so it's such a melting pot of international um, opportunities, international people, international food. So you can get Western style food that's pretty good. You can get the Mediterranean food. You can get all the Asian food. Uh, you can get that to a lesser extent here in Vietnam and here in Da Nang, even a lesser extent. But I tell you what, I haven't had a bad burger here in Da Nang since I've been here, except for one time I had a burger at a place I won't mention the name, but I got food poisoning from it. But but other than that, the food's been really good. And in BGC, they've got a lot of great Western options. All those franchise restaurants in the West that you may or may not like the Texas Roadhouse or the Chili's or Denny's or Olive Garden or Italiani's or whatever. They've got them all there in BGC and in Metro Manila. So depends what you're looking for, but I think Bangkok's probably your number one choice, and then probably BGC from where I live, and then here in Da Nang would be third. But the Vietnam food is good. It's not quite as spicy, but it's good. You can get a really cheap banh mi sandwich for like 20 or 25,000 dong. So, all right, Alan, how is the money exchange rate there on the U.S. dollar? So let's check it out right now. Give me a second to bring up my money exchange app. So right now, the U.S. dollar, $1 is worth 25,390 Vietnam dong. So it's about So if I bought a banh mi sandwich for 20,000 dong, it would cost me 78 cents. So what I usually do is in Vietnam, I times everything by four. So if it's 20,000, I times that by four, it's 80,000. I take off the zeros, and then you've got your 80 cents. So it's like 78, almost 79 cents. So it's right there. In Bangkok, I times it by three. So, or in Thailand, I times it by three. So if I buy a beer for 100 baht, that's $2.96. So it's almost three times that amount. And then in the Philippines, I double it. So if I go to the Philippines, I look for. Oops, hang on, give me a second. So if I buy a beer for 100 peso in the Philippines, that's about $1.73. So the peso is getting really weak lately. So you're getting more bang for your buck in the Philippines right now. So right now, 57.69 or 57.70 is the rate for the peso to the dollar. So when I first moved there, well, when I first started traveling to the Philippines, it was right about 50. So you can double that. And that was back in 2015, 2016. When I moved to the Philippines in the beginning of 2022, it was about 55, I think, maybe. And then it went up, it got past 60 at one point. So my rent was really cheap. Um, then it's kind of dropped down a little bit, but now it looks like it's climbing back up a little as far as the peso to the dollar. So the dollar's more strong against the peso. So that's your rates. I hope that makes sense, but it's kind of for me. It just you just double the peso to figure out what the U.S. rate is, probably a little less. Triple the Thai baht, and you times the Vietnam dong by four, and you get a rough idea. Um, so talking about food. So food is super cheap here. You can get, like I said, you can get a banh mi sandwich, which is your traditional Vietnamese sandwich on a baguette. Let's see, I got vegetables, beef, or both, meat, or both of there. You can get one of those for as cheap as 20,000 Vietnam dong here, which is, like I said, just under 80 cents for a sandwich. Um, you can get a nice bowl of pho, which is the soup in Vietnam for 60 to 80 Vietnam dong, which is probably under $2. So you can get a nice meal. You can go and get a Western meal. Like I got the other day, I went to Paradise, which is a beach side bar and grill right there on the beach. One of my hangouts because I get a mango smoothie for 100,000 dong, which is a little pricey. It's just under $4. So you're going to pay a little more because you're in the tourist area. I got a big double jumbo cheeseburger for 185,000. So 185,000 is figure this out real quick. 185,000 dong is about $7. So I don't know what the prices are in the U.S. anymore, but you can pay as little as you want for food here, and you can pay as much as you want. But generally speaking, the prices are lower here or cheaper here than they are in Bangkok and they are in BGC. Now, you can find deals everywhere, but generally speaking, you find it's probably cheaper in Vietnam, in Da Nang here, than it is in Bangkok or BGC. Now, if you get outside the cities, you can find cheap places. But the nice thing about Bangkok is you've got street food everywhere. and I love street food, and I can get a full meal for about 40 baht or 50 baht or 60 baht maybe. So that's less than $2. 40 baht is about a buck 20. 60 baht is about a buck 80, and 80 baht is like less than $2.40. So you can get a nice street food meal for pretty cheap in Bangkok. Um, in BGC, you can find some restaurants that have deals where you can find a meal for maybe 350 or 400 peso. Things are going up a little bit there, so maybe 400 is about a little less than $8. Maybe 450 would be a little less than $9, about 850. So that's kind of where you're at with BGC. But of course, you're you can pay more depending on where you're going. Um, so that's kind of the prices. Edwin likes the emojis. All right, what's this? Sounds like the food is very affordable there. Yeah, I mean, you could eat. I eat twice a day, so I'll either eat a. I usually eat a breakfast, and I'll eat an early dinner. I try to go about maybe 10 to 12 hours without eating in the middle. Um, that's when I do my walking. I try to get my 10,000 steps in. Walking on the beach there is really nice. So yeah, you can get by pretty easy there. Um, locals friendly, yes, very friendly. Um, if you say hi to them, they will say hi back to you. So I'll tell you a little story. I'm going to post this probably on my community page picture. But I was walking along the, I don't know if they call it a boulevard or boardwalk along the beach there. They got a really nice big wide sidewalks. You can walk all the way up and down the beach. And I was walking there, and there was a group of Vietnamese girls. And hang on a second, guys. Got to make sure my laptop's plugged in. Otherwise, my batteries would have died. Uh-oh. Okay, now it's working. Okay, sorry about that. I got a bad battery on this laptop, so I have to have it plugged in, and it wasn't charging. Okay, so I'm walking along the beach. There's a group of girls, probably 10, maybe 10 of them. They were probably in their mid 20s, and they were taking a group shot, right? And so I'm standing there waiting for them to get done with their photo so I can keep walking. And the girl that was standing taking the picture, she got done, and me being the goofy guy I am, I ran in front of them, and I'm posing, and then they start laughing, I laugh, and I'm going to walk off, and they go, no, 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 come back. So I went back, and they took my picture with them. So and then they sent it to me. So, but it was cool. It was neat, and they're super friendly. So that's kind of an example of the friendliness of the Vietnamese people. And it's that way in Thailand too. I mean, the only time I get pushback or maybe a little rudeness is when you're at the markets and if you're trying to negotiate price, sometimes they can get a little annoyed. So just know that. And that happens wherever you're at, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam. Um, but generally speaking, you're walking by somebody and you're making eye contact and you smile and say hello, or you say xin chào, and they'll say xin chào back to you. In Thailand, you can say sawadee krap and do this, and they'll do that every time. So I've never had an issue. The only issue I have with rude people, basically, are the expats. That's so. Hopefully, not everybody thinks we're all mean, um, but yeah, that's kind of. Philippine people are super friendly, but so so are the Thai people, and so are the Vietnamese people. I think Asian people in general are friendly. I think the only issue might be if they seem a little standoffish. So when I was in Tokyo, um, you they are some of the friendliest people if you interact with them. But I think they're afraid to make eye contact, so they seem standoffish if you're walking by them on the street because their English probably isn't very good, and they're afraid you're going to try to strike up a conversation with them, and they may not understand you. So I think that's probably part of the reason why they avoid eye contact in Japan, and that could be the case in these other countries too, where they don't speak a lot of English. Um, I think that's the main thing because when I was in Japan, I was lost a couple of times, and I walked up to somebody, and I spoke enough Japanese to be able to start a conversation. So I would say, "Sumimasen, eigo ga wakarimasu ka?" And I would ask them if they understood English, and they did a little bit. So I'd ask them which train I was on, and this guy he had a briefcase, so he was in a suit. He was a younger guy, maybe mid to late 20s, and I asked him if I was on the right platform, train platform from the airport to the city, and he's like, no, 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 and he says, follow me, and he runs all the way around to the other platform to take me to the right platform. While he's waiting for his train, he could have missed his train, and then he runs back. So, and I had the same thing happen to me when I got dropped off. Um, I'm looking for the bus to take me to the hotel. Same night, right? First night in Tokyo, first night ever in Tokyo. And I'm looking for the right bus to get me to the hotel. And so I'm on this corner, and I walk into this hotel. It wasn't my hotel. I walked in this hotel, go up to the front desk, and I asked the girl, I go, what bus do I need to get on to get to this hotel? I show her the hotel, and she's like, come with me. And she runs out the door, and I'm running behind her, and she's flagging down this bus that's about ready to leave. That was the bus I needed to be on. So she got me on the bus. She didn't need to do any of that. And you're not going to find that even in the Philippines. They'll say, oh, go for a while. They'll do that. They won't give you very good directions. So they're super friendly. I think everybody in Asia is super friendly. It's such a breath of fresh air to talk to Asian people compared to talking to people from the West. Um, it's so much nicer, and I just really do love it. No complaints. Let's see. They have a saying: "More fun in the Philippines and in Thailand, land of smiles." What is the saying phrase in Vietnam? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Um, that's a good question, Alan. I'll have to find that out and get back to you on that. I'll circle back on that. Um, that's a good question. Now, I thought they were changing the more fun in the Philippines to something else, Love Philippines or something like that. Um, did they change that? But I like the more fun in the Philippines better. So, how's the public transportation in Da Nang? All right, so they've got the apps, the Grab, and they got a couple of others. I use Grab, and it's fantastic. It's super cheap, and they show up within 2 minutes of ordering your Grab. So if you're familiar with being in Manila in the Philippines, trying to order a Grab, it could take a long, long time, and sometimes they cancel, and sometimes they never do find a rider for you. Here in Da Nang, I've never had a problem. Even in Ho Chi Minh City, they've come right away. The first time we were here, I was with a couple of friends in Ho Chi Minh City. We're sitting at a coffee shop, and we're thinking, okay, we need to get a Grab to go wherever we're going. And we're used to the Philippines, where you order a Grab, you got at least 10 minutes, and probably more like 20 or 25 minutes. And so we order a Grab, and we're not paying attention, and we're finishing our coffee or finishing our breakfast. And then I don't know who ordered it. It's me or one of the other guys. They looked at his phone, and it was like 3 minutes later or 4 minutes later, and it was canceled because the guy showed up and we didn't go out. So it's like, oh my God. So we ordered again, and within 2 minutes, the new driver was there. So we were ready that time. So and in Denali, it's the same way. It's super fast and super cheap. Um, so yeah, so public. They don't have the trikes like they do in the Philippines. They don't have the tuk-tuks like they do in Thailand. They don't have the jeepneys like in the Philippines. They just have the Grab, and I believe they've got motorcycle. You can take a motorcycle and ride that, but I've never done that because the Grabs they're real quick and they're super cheap. So I've never felt the need to do that. So see, I think I'm all caught up on my comments. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Let me look back real quick. Um, okay, so yeah, I think I'm all caught up. Um, so let's talk about. We've talked a little bit about the differences, the dating, the food, uh, cost of living. Let's touch on that. It's cheaper here than either of the other two places. Philippines prices seem to be going up now. I keep hearing that there's a um, there's a crash coming in the market as far as housing, condominiums and that, and the prices. I keep watching these videos, and they're saying, "Oh, condo prices in Manila are going down anywhere from 10 to 30%." Well, I'm not seeing. I'm looking online, and I don't see anything because it's always been about 1,000 peso to the square meter, and I'm still seeing the same thing. Now, there are those outliers that you'll find that you've got um, some bargains that you can find, but at the same time, you have to look and see what kind of quality it is, because generally speaking, in my experience, living in all three countries, the quality of the, the places, the condos in the Philippines is far inferior than that of Thailand and that of Vietnam. The, the apartment I live here in Vietnam is newly remodeled, and um, they have top-notch um, manufacturing. I mean, the doors are solid wood and they're heavy and they're really good. The handles, everything's done top notch. The tile on the floor, the bathroom, the faucets. Everything is done. A plus, A grade. Same with Thailand. The condo I live in Thailand is 3 years old, and the upkeep is very good. I'm always getting these notifications on my phone that they're doing general maintenance. So I know the upkeep's always going to be there. So that's really nice to know. And my condo is actually, the owner of my condo owns the entire building. So I know that things will get done if I need things done, but I've never had any problems, never had any issues. Um, so I think, the cost of condos in the Philippines, and especially in Metro Manila, is a little higher. You get a little more bang for your buck in Thailand, especially if you get outside of those tourist areas. You can find some really good deals. And here in Vietnam, even in Da Nang, which is a beach tourist city, you can get some really cheap deals too. Um, so I would say the cost of living um, is better. Vietnam, number one cheapest, then Thailand, and then the Philippines, especially in the metro areas. So I'm not going to talk about the provinces, or living up in the Isan area in Thailand, or living in the province areas here in Vietnam. I don't know anything about those. I've been to the provinces in the Philippines many, many, many times. I wouldn't want to live there. Um, it's just not convenient for me. I would rather pay a little extra than be in the convenience of being in a city. So that's just me. I grew up on a farm. I lived on a farm when I was a kid, and I don't need to do that anymore. I don't want to grow my own food or my own livestock. I don't want to do any of that anymore. So, um, Okay, let me see. What app do you use for live stream? Soon I'll try first live stream. Okay, Alan. I use StreamYard, and the only reason I'm using it now is because um, I tried to cancel it because they doubled their price, uh, but um, but they took out the $44. It's $44 a month now. It used to be 25. Now there's a free version you can have, but if you look up in the right top right corner, you can see my logo there. The free version has the StreamYard logo, and there's some extra things you can do with the paid version that you can't do with the free version. I can record and have um, more storage space if I want to record videos. So if I want to do, say, if I want to do a reaction video, I can play a reaction video on the screen, and I don't think you can do that with a free version. I can use multiple cameras if I want. Um, I can bring on more guests with the paid version, but I'm looking into getting using another version, but it'll be a month. I haven't done a live stream forever. It was the last time I did one was when I was in Bangkok, and it was in maybe October or November of last year. So it's been a while, but I've got a YouTube consultant now, and she told me I need to do more live streams. So here I am doing a live stream, but it's fun, and it looks like I've got enough people on here to keep it going. I appreciate um, you guys on here. It's funny because I'm getting really close to 14,000 subscribers now, and I never dreamed that would happen. So, Alan, if you're getting ready to do it, just do it, man. When you start, let me know, and I'll get you on my channel and do an interview, and that'll help your subscribers, help you get some subscribers maybe. I'm all about paying it forward. There were a couple of YouTubers that helped me out, helped me get monetized faster. One of them was Evan, Savvy Expat in BGC. I was I was right about 400 or 500 subscribers, so I hadn't been monetized yet. And I met him. Just he was just walking by. I was sitting with a friend having a drink, and I met him. And I used to watch his videos all the time before I moved out there. He was one of the reasons why I chose BGC. And we got to talking, and he goes, "Yeah, you want to come on my channel?" So he interviewed me, and I got 500, close to 500 new subscribers just from that interview on his channel. So it got me monetized. And then the first time I went and met Gio in the Philippines when he was in Dumaguete, he interviewed me, and that got me about 300 more, 200 or 300 more. And then Mark Thornton, Every Man Has a Story, who's no longer with us, he interviewed me on his channel, and that got me about 100 more subscribers. So if I could pay it forward to new YouTubers just getting started, I'm all for it, because I appreciate the people that helped me along the way. And I'm by I'm by no means big time, but um, I'm big enough where I can hopefully help some people. But for some reason, I don't get a lot of views when I do interviews. I don't know why, but I'll keep doing it. What the hell? Why not, right? Okay, what's this? All right, thank you, sir. So kind of you. I have arrangements to be interviewed with Mark before. Oh, that's too bad. Um, so, are you in Dumaguete, Alan? Um, if you are, if you're going to do a YouTube channel, it's kind of inundated there. You get, per capita, there's probably more YouTubers there than anywhere else in the Philippines. They're in Angeles City, but yeah, that's too bad. But I'll be back. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going back to the Philippines. I'll be in BGC and Makati area for about 3 months. I'm going to get a short-term rental at a condo in Makati while I wait for my passport. So I'll be there. So if you're in the area, look me up. I'll be more than happy to meet, or anybody else. I'll probably do a meet and greet there when I get there. Um, I think I might do one here. I did one in Thailand before I came here. And I had about 6 or 7 people show up, which is good, I thought, because I'm just getting a footprint in Thailand. And in Vietnam here, I'll probably try to do one, and we'll see who shows up. But if you're in the Da Nang area, I'll probably do a meet and greet here in the next few days, see how it goes. And if you're in Vietnam or the Da Nang area, when you see my post on community page, the meet and greet, feel free to stop by. I'd love to meet you. So let's see what else is going on. Um, so here's my advice, and if you didn't see my last video about the passport issues, um, my passport expires October 1st of this year. So I thought, I've got 8 or 9 months. I'll start looking at doing that. It is it was a mistake. The thing I didn't keep in mind is so once your passport is within 6 months of being expired, most countries won't let you travel there. But the thing I didn't keep in mind, or I didn't account for, was that if you have a visa at one of these countries, if your passport expires within 6 months before that visa expires, they're not going to let you in either. So say if I come in here in Vietnam on a 9-month visa, well, or I'm sorry, 90-day visa, well, 90 days, we're talking mid-May, that's well underneath that 6 months before my passport expires. So they're not going to give me a new 90-day visa coming in here. So you have to keep that in mind. And I didn't think about that um, when I was doing all this thought processing. So I learned my lesson. But I'll go back to the Philippines, and they'll extend my visa every 30 days. And all I need to do is show my documents, show copies of my documents that I sent in with my passport to show that I'm waiting for my new passport to come. So they will use that and extend my stay for each 30 days until I get that. So sigh of relief. So I'm good to go there. So um, all right, I'm far north in Kakinga, Luzon. Okay, 8 hours east of Baguio and 8 hours south of Ilocos Norte. Okay, are you up near? Is that near Cabanatuan or Nueva Ecija? I'm familiar with those areas, but I'm not familiar with where you are. So let me know, Alan. But you're way up there. um, but yeah, if you get down to the Manila area, look me up. I know it's a big drive for you, but or a big trip for you. I don't know. I doubt that they have any airports nearby. Um, I can. Vietnam have a burn season similar to Thailand. I think they do, but I don't think it's as severe. Maybe farther up north. I'm not sure, but I've heard somewhere that they do. Um, but right now here, um, the air quality is fine. It's kind of neat walking along the beach because you'll be walking and it's like clear. Like here, it's clear. Right behind me, you can't really tell, but it's clear skies, clear air. And you get down on the beach, and it almost looks like kind of a fog because of the ocean. I don't know what it is, the ocean spray or the mist or whatever, but it almost seems like kind of a fog. So it's kind of cool in a neat way to see that. But yeah, I don't know that it affects here much. Um, but like I said, I'm not an expert on that, so I couldn't tell you for sure. Um, but yeah, burn season. There was a couple of days when I was back in Bangkok that the air quality was horrible. I mean, it was so bad. I live. My condo is way south on Sukhumvit, so almost one of the last stops. It's like right off this Samrong stop. Um, so it's about 10 stops from Prompong or Sok area, so which is the main touristy area of Sukhumvit Road. But usually that far south, there's not much traffic. It's not as hot. Temperatures aren't as hot. The air seems cleaner. But there was a couple of days when woke up, I look outside, and I couldn't see the buildings of Bangkok. It was so bad, and it got so bad the government actually made riding the trains free for that whole week to try to encourage people to ride the trains rather than drive their cars or motorcycles to try to get that air pollution level down. So it could get bad, but generally speaking, it's not so bad. I've never had any problems in Bangkok. Now you get up north, it can get pretty bad that burn season in like Chiang Mai. I've heard it's really bad during the burn season, and we're right about in that area now, in that time frame now, where they'll start burning the crops. I don't know if there's an answer to that or not. That's something they've been doing for centuries. So I don't know if they're going to get away from that anytime soon or not. If there's a solution, I don't know. So anyway, it is what it is. Um, let's see, what else? Any other questions? We're going to open forum now. Just ask any questions you have about, I'll let you know my experience in, Bangkok, Penang, Vietnam, and BGC in Philippines. I know a lot about the Philippines because I lived there for 3 years, and I've been all over. I've been to Leyte, I've been to northern Luzon, I've been to um, Negros, both sides. I've been to Iloilo, I've been to Siquijor, so I've been to a lot of places. Um, do you get many typhoons there? We had 6 typhoons in a 30-day period last fall. Lost electric, internet, etc. for weeks. Going solar in our house very soon. I don't know. I know they get typhoons here because we're right there on the west coast. So a lot of the storms that go through the Philippines, if they don't turn up north and head toward Taiwan or Japan, they may hit the coast of Vietnam. So I don't think you get as many here in Vietnam as you do in the Philippines. I think the Philippines is like right in the heart of that Devil's Triangle, so you're going to get the brunt of everything. But you do get some here, and in those, September's, October, November, that's when the weather's the worst here as far as those possibilities of typhoons. I was here in December, and it was just rain. There was no 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 typhoons or no monsoons. There was a lot of wind. It got windy, but it wasn't typhoon wind. It wasn't anything like that. But if you're here in September, October, November, you probably run into those. But nothing like the Philippines, where they average what 20 or 22 typhoons a year there. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, nothing like that. And Bangkok doesn't get much of that at all. Now, every every place has the um, every place has the rainy seasons, but Philippines seems like it's nuts. But the thing I like about BGC is even when you get those typhoons that you're affected by, you don't lose power because all the power is underground, and there's no flooding in BGC because they've got this huge retention tank that's that's underneath Burgos Circle, which is kind of a park area um, where Forbes Road and High Street kind of connect. But they've got this huge 6-story tank where all the water, all the rainwater will collect in, and then they release it out to the ocean. So you never have. They've, they've only had a flood one time at BGC, and that was because the valve that released the water to the ocean malfunctioned and it didn't release, so it kind of backed up. That was the only time they've ever had flooding in BGC. So they've that's a great planned city, and I wish they would work on the rest of that. And I hear Cebu's working on, putting their power lines underground too. So that's a plus, but you don't have brownouts in BGC. So. All right, Ken, sorry if I missed this. Do you still have your place in Bangkok? Yes, I do. I had a 1 year lease and it's up in October. So I'll keep that so I can keep going back there. Most of my stuff's there. I got a backpack of clothes and my laptop here, but my studio, my desktop, my mics, my camera, everything's there in Bangkok in my condo. Um, that's why I love condo life because it's so secure. Um, I don't worry about somebody breaking into my condo. It's not going to happen. You've got to have key cards to get everywhere. So I keep all my stuff there. So it's just convenient for me. Yeah, I'll pay the 350 a month, but I've got a place to go to when I go back. And if I didn't have that, if I just wanted to get an Airbnb every time I went back, I would be paying more for the same thing basically. So for me, it's all about convenience. It's all about not having to have, I don't have to carry my golf clubs. It's my home base now. It's kind of what it was in BGC, my home base, and I was paying $600 a month for my condo in BGC. Now, granted, my condo in Bangkok is smaller, but to me, uh, having to pay less is a little more convenient for me. And here's my thinking, and you guys, you 9 people that are watching right now will be the first to hear about it. So I'm not gonna continue my renting here. I'm just gonna, if I come back to Da Nang or when I come back to Da Nang, I'll just get a hotel or an apartment short term because it's really cheap. You can get a hotel for 12, $15 a night US. So if you extrapolate that out to 30 days, you're talking $350, $400 a month. That's like rent, right? So, and you don't have to pay a deposit. So I'm just going to do it that way. I'm thinking about getting now I'm getting a short-term 3-month rent in Makati. I may extend that before I leave. So I've got a place, then I'll have a place to go back to in Philippines and a place still in Bangkok. And I may bounce back and forth to the two and then come here on occasion also. Because right now I haven't decided yet as far as a retirement visa. I'm leaning toward getting one in Bangkok when I go back there. Um, but I haven't really decided yet. Um, so it's the Philippines is easy. You can just renew your or extend your visa every 30 days. And as long as you're not there a whole year, they don't ask a lot of questions. And I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there continuously for a whole year. I would obviously be going back to Bangkok. So I may find a cheap, small condo in Makati somewhere and kind of bounce back and forth there. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And who knows? I haven't decided yet. So let's see. Alan, are you married or have a partner? No, I'm not married. I did that twice in the U.S., married and divorced. And it would have to be something super. I'll never say never. I'm not going to be like Gio and say I'll never get married, and then he gets married like a year after he said he'd never get married, and then a year after that, you probably know the story. But I'll never say never. But at this point, I'm not looking to get married. I don't have a partner. I don't have a girlfriend. Um, I had one. I had a steady girl in the Philippines. We were together for over a year and a half, and I just needed a change. Um, so that kind of ended, but we're still really close. We were really good friends, and I haven't found anybody. I haven't been looking. I've enjoyed my life. You know, Let me talk about friends though. So I've got a small group of really good friends back in the Philippines, back in BGC. And that what's great about that, when I moved to Thailand, a bunch of them came out and visited me there. When I came here to Da Nang, a bunch of them came out and visited me here. So it's like they never went away. It's like I never went away. So it'll be nice though to get back to BGC and see a couple of them that I haven't seen for 6 months. Um, but I've got good friends there. I made some really good friends, about three or four really good friends in Thailand also, in Bangkok. So I've got a group of good friends here. The difference here in Da Nang is there's it's so easy. There's no retirement visa here. So you come in 90 days, you leave, and you come back for another 90 days. So it's hard to find really close friends here because they come and go so much. So I've got a good friend I met here. He's from the UK. He's from London, actually right outside of Liverpool. So I'm a big Beatles fan. So we talk about Liverpool all day with him. Um, but but he's on the 90-day visa. So he's leaving the day after tomorrow, and he's going back to London. So I don't know when he's coming back. So and then I met a few Australian guys here. And by the way, there's a lot. If you're Australian or you want to meet Australians, come to Da Nang. They're everywhere. I told I told one of the guys that one of the guys I hang out with. I said I was on I was a Manila expat Facebook group, and something came up about Australia, and I made a joke. It's like this guy was leaving Australia to come to Manila, and I said, or come to Da Nang, I guess it was, and I said, well, when you leave, make sure you turn off the lights because I think you're the last Australian there. I think they're all here now, but yeah, but they're great guys. The first friend I made in Thailand is Australian, Aussie Bob, I call him, but he's a good guy. Um, he's the guy I stayed at his apartment for a few weeks when I first moved back in October until I moved into my condo. So they're Australians are super good people. Um, just like every country, you'll run into some bad apples too. But for the most part, these guys are fun to be around, and you can understand their accent, then they're okay. Let's see. Um, all right, I've been here 26 months, married 25 months to a beautiful Filipina. Have my permanent 13A. 70 years old, wife is 68. Best decision ever made in my life. Love the culture and traditions. Congratulations, Alan. So married over 2 years. Great. Um, Let me ask how you guys met, and how so you got married right after you got there. So you must have met her previously, I'm guessing. So how did you guys meet? Was it a website, or were you there visiting and met her? And there, done that. Yeah, I told him. I messaged him on Messenger, and I said, hey, if you get to Bangkok, look me up. And he said, yeah. Uh, he wants to go back there. He wants to go back to Thailand and go other places than Bangkok. He wants to, he's a big bike rider. I don't do that. Um, so he wants to ride up to northern Thailand. So, but yeah, I told him it's an open invitation to come visit. Uh, I want to get an Airbnb close when land in Manila. Any good ones near the airport? I don't know. How long are you planning on staying in Manila? Because I wouldn't get anything close to the airport if you're planning on staying for a while. I would get something in maybe Makati or BGC or uh, the Eastwood area, which is just right outside of Quezon City. I would look at those areas maybe. Um, because it's going to be easier to get around. And really, the stuff right around the airport isn't that great in my opinion. But that's what I would do. I would just look in those areas. But depends on your budget, and depends on how long you plan on staying there. Makati from the airport's about a depending on the traffic, you can get there in 25 to 30 minutes probably if the traffic's moderate. Um, here's what I like. I like coming in if you've got a place all ready to stay, or you've got those a self check-ins, so you don't have to check in at a certain time. I like to fly in late at night, like if my flight lands like 1 a.m. because there's no traffic. You're not going to get scammed by the taxi drivers that are going to say traffic, 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 and try to charge you extra. You can get a grab fairly quickly, and it's not going to cost that much. Maybe 350, 400 pesos. So what we're talking $7, $8, $9, um, and you'll get there real quick because there's not a lot of traffic at 1 a.m. That's what I like to do at least. But if you have to check in at a certain time, then you're kind of a slave to that time frame. But that's what I like to do. I like to get in really late where you have no traffic and you get to where you need to be real quick and you just kind of fall into bed. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find with my flight coming in on the 4th. I the flight I found that's direct, the only flight I could find that's direct, and I needed to leave before my visa expired on the 7th. The only flight I could find gets in at 5 a.m. on the 5th. So thankfully, I'll only have a backpack. So I'm going to have to be a bum for a few hours when I get there and just hang out, BGC somewhere before I can check into um, my hotel room in BGC. 'Cause I got 2 nights. I got an Airbnb for 2 nights, but I won't be able to check in until that afternoon. So I'll get into BGC probably around 6 or 6:30, right around the time things open up. I'll get breakfast, just kind of hang out at some place where I can get on the internet and just kind of goof around for a few hours until I can check into my Airbnb, and then I'll go to Makati later that day and looking at a condo there for short term. So, but that's what I do. That's what I did. So, to each his own. Um, so Makati's not far. And if you're staying a while, how long, Philip? How long are you planning on staying in Metro Manila? That would be the number one question. You met your wife on a very old social media site. Had a 4-year LDR. Wow. Went against everyone's advice and sent her budgets to build us a house and everything we need and a car before I came here. Okay, so that's you are one of the lucky ones. You got the you found the diamond in the rough. You got one of the few that are the good ones. Um, but I think it helps that you found a girl that's close to your age, a woman that's close to your age. I think that makes a big difference. Um, but that's great, fantastic, Alan. Here's so I just watched a video the other day, and I can't remember the name of the YouTuber in the Philippines, but it was a second interview of this guy. He's 70 years old, and I think he's in Cebu. And the first video, he was all being happy. He was if stop me if you see this, if you've seen this before, but he was talking about having 8 girlfriends, and he's living this dream life because all these girlfriends love him and they all want to be with him, and none of them mind that he's got these other 7 girlfriends. And then fast forward maybe 3 or 4 months later, and I just watched the new video, and he's sitting there, and he looks completely depressed, and he's talking about, yeah, he get his pension and his Social Security money his pension from AT&T and his Social Security money every month, and then in 3 days it's all gone and he's broke because all these girls are spending. He's spending all this money on these girls, and now he's down to one lady, and he says, "Oh, and she loves me, and I let her handle all the finances." And I'm thinking, oh my God, this guy is he's on his way to a major train wreck. And so they're going to build a house for her and they're going to get married. And I'm thinking all this time, it's like this guy, I feel horrible for him because he's just setting himself up. But I tell you, Alan, you got one of the good ones. So congratulations on that. So if you've seen that video, I can't remember the name of the YouTuber that did it, but you might have seen it. Um, oh, you're staying permanent. Oh, okay. So yeah, what kind of budget are you looking for, Philip? As far as housing, or what kind of monthly budget are you looking to spend? Because if you're looking to live permanent in Manila, or are you looking to just have that be a temporary place and live somewhere else in the Philippines? Um, because I would, if you're looking for convenience, um, 2,500 a month. Okay, so you could live in BGC on 2,500 a month, and that's probably the most expensive area in Metro Manila or in the Philippines, arguably. Um, so, like for me, I don't know what kind of lifestyle you like or what you want, um, but for 2,500, let me add this up for you. So this is what my budget was like when I was living in BGC. I was paying, and I'll put this in U.S. dollars. I was paying about $600 a month for my condo. It was a 50 square meter condo on the 29th floor in BGC, a corner unit. Pretty nice. Furniture was okay, but it was nice, and the landlady, the owner, was super sweet and super nice, and so I was paying that. My utilities came to no more than $100 a month. So, but I didn't run the AC much. So if you like it cool, you have to make adjustments for that. So that's 100. My high speed Wi-Fi, I had 500 megabytes per second up and down, and that was, let me take a second here. I think it was 1,700 pesos, so about 30, say $30 a month for that. Um, the utilities was electric with the water. Um, we would buy the big jugs, the big 5 gallon jugs of water. We'd go through about one of those a week because you can't drink the tap water there. So we go through one of those a week for our drinking and cooking. Um, that was 50 peso a week, so $1 a week, so $4. So, and that's two of us, my girlfriend and I. So, groceries, we would probably spend about, I'd say 4 or 5 thousand peso a month. So let's just say 5,000. So that's um, so 5,000 is um, where is 5,000? I can't remember. 5,000 peso. Um, boy, when you move away for a little while, you lose. It's about 100. No, yeah, it's about $100, right? I'm an idiot. 5,000 peso. Yeah, $86. So figure 100. Let's just say $150 a month for groceries, and then eating out. Say you want to eat out, you know, once or maybe let's say 4 times a week. So you eat out, you spend about 400, 500 peso every time you eat out. So that's let's say $10, so four times $40 a week. So you're talking $160. Let's say $200 a month for eating out at restaurants. Entertainment. Say you want to go drink with the boys, So let's just add another 100 a month for for that. Now I'm not going to add things like adult entertaining because I didn't do any of that. So, but if you are into those sort of things, those transactional pay for play things, it's probably going to cost you about 3,000 peso a shot. And I mean shot in the literal sense too, not just figuratively. Um, so if you did say once a week, I got a buddy that does it, 2 or 3 times a week. That's his thing, and more power to him. But so say you do it once a week, so that's 3,000, 3,612. So that's about 200 and say $250 a month for that. Um, so right there, it's under $1,500. So, and that's I mean, you could probably get a little nicer place. You can probably, eat out more. Um, but that's kind of the bare minimum, and you're spending $1,400. So you can easily budget with 2,500 a month. Now, I will tell you, you're going to need some savings when you get in here, and I always suggest have about 10,000, at least $10,000 in savings, because what you're going to need to do is when you come in, most places will um, have you pay 2 months rent and 2 months deposit. Now you can negotiate. Sometimes you can get that down to 1 month and 1 month, but I would just say if you pay 2 months rent, 2 months deposit. So if you're paying 600 a month, that's $2,400 right there that you're paying right up front for your rent and deposit. Um, so you've got those expenses. You got your expenses of Airbnb, staying in a hotel or Airbnb while you're looking for a condo to live in permanently. So you have to keep those expenses in mind too. But once you get past that 2,500 a month is you should be golden. You should be good unless you know the thing I will tell you is don't live like you're on vacation. Because if you live like you're on vacation, you're going to run through that money fairly quickly. Live like you're a resident. Live like you're a local there, and not local to the sense of you got to eat rice 3 times a day and have dried fish. No, I mean eat like you live there, like you do from wherever you came from. Wherever you came from, you had a budget, and you didn't go out to eat every night or 3 days, 3 times a day or whatever. So just make sure you're not eating like you're not living like you're on vacation, and that's the best advice I can give you. So, but yeah, 2,500, yeah, you should be fine. Um, so Mike B, hello Mike B, currently in San Diego. What is the least painful route to get to Southeast Asia? I hate those long plane rides. Maybe Honolulu for a few days, then onward to Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's what I would do. What is it? Probably from Honolulu to Manila, I think it's 11 hours, maybe. Maybe you could fly into Australia from the U.S. and then from Australia, I think it's 8 hours to Vietnam, so maybe a little less time to Manila. But yeah, I use. Here, I'll put this down here. Um, I use Momondo.com, and that's where I buy my flights. You can find your cheapest flights on Momondo.com. Now they don't sponsor me; they don't pay me for any of this, but I've used them since I started traveling overseas 10 years ago. So, and they've never done me wrong. So you can use filters to filter out if you don't want more than if you want direct flights. Of course, you're not going to get a direct flight necessarily, but if you want like keep it limited to one stop or two stops or whatever, or no overnight stays, or if you like, you can even adjust your layover times. So if you want to, like like you said, Mike, fly into Honolulu and have a couple of day layover, maybe you can adjust those filters for that, or just do separate fares, separate tickets. Um, but kind of play around. Go on Momondo.com. There's other sites you can. Google has one. There's a couple others. Just kind of play around with that, and see where in Southeast Asia are you thinking about going? Um, I'd be interested to know that. Okay, so there, Momondo.com. That's where I go. Um, but yeah, so all right, so we're almost to an hour and a half, and my voice is getting a little sore. So I think I'll go about 4 or 5 more minutes, depending on if we get people joining while we're talking. Maybe we'll go a little longer. But does anybody else have any other questions? Because this has been fun. I haven't done a live stream for a while, so this has been fun, and it's been good talking to you guys. And I see some new faces and some new names that I haven't recognized, so that's good too. Um, but yeah, if you get out here, wherever you go, whether it's the Philippines or Thailand or here in Vietnam in Da Nang, if I'm here, look me up. I love meeting viewers and subscribers. That's one of the fun things about being on YouTube is getting to meet new people and just kind of sharing my experience and exchanging stories and that. And yeah, so um, what else? What else is new, guys? Anything? Any other questions? We'll go 2 more minutes. That'll get us right at 90 minutes on live. And if we don't have any more questions or anything, we'll go ahead and sign off. But yeah, let me know what questions you might have. I think I covered a lot. I mean, we covered dating, we covered food, we covered cost of living, um, covered transportation issues. I will tell you that Thailand, Bangkok has the best infrastructure of all of them. Um, it's amazing just riding the trains. Um, it's pretty incredible. Alan, thank you, sir, for the chat. Wish you and everyone in the room good day and good night. Stay safe. Thank you, Alan. You too. You do the same. And say hello to your lovely wife of 2 years and 1 month now. And hope you had a great anniversary last month when you hit that 2 year mark. And we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully, we'll see you at some point. Maybe we'll meet you and your wife down the road somewhere in the Philippines. Oh, I was going to ask. I did ask you. I didn't see the answer. Are you close to Cabanatuan or Nueva Ecija? My first girlfriend ever in the Philippines was from there. She was an OFW, and I met her online. And she was an OFW working as a housekeeper in Hong Kong. And we chatted online for a few months, and then she was going back to see her family in Nueva Ecija um, in Christmas of 2015. So I got my passport and I booked my flight, and it was super expensive. But I booked it. I met her in Manila, and we took that 4 hour bus ride, which was a pain in the rear, literally, all the way up to Cabanatuan, and then from Cabanatuan, we took a bike to her hometown. But it was a cool experience. So I don't know if you're near there or not, up in northern Luzon. Be interesting to see where you're at. Um, but hey, okay. Uh, we'll just end it at that. And thank you all for joining me today. It's been great, and it's been fun. We'll do it again. Um, Alan says I don't know the area. Sorry, I'm close to Isabella and Cagayan. Okay, all right. I'll look it up on the map before we get off here. But thanks everybody for coming on my stream. I appreciate it, and we'll do it again soon. It'll be quicker than the 4 or 5 months that was the last time. So until next time, mabuhay, live your life, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.